This video is in association with Mpec Vendors.
Hi guys, Mystic Frost here. So we have just done locals today. 5 rounds, quite a few people turned up. There was 17 of us in total, which is always nice, very fun when you get a nice big locals going, because more chance of playing different people on different decks, and it's always good to see what your deck can do. Now, unfortunately, with our results today, we went 2-1-2, and for those of you who don't know, that means we won 2, we drew 1, and then lost 2. We started off strong with back-to-back wins, and then we took a loss, then we had a draw, and then we took a loss, just to end the day on a down note. But it was fun. I played against some wonderfully nice people who are very skilled. Round 1 was against Matt Black. I can name him. I'm tagging his video down below, and I will tagging his channel down below, and I will be tagging his channel in our game, which I will upload later on in the week. Go check out his channel. He does some amazing content, and honestly, anyone can learn from him playing this game. He was on Mermail Atlanteans. He wanted to do a little throwback. He then regretted that decision. I think is a fair way to put it. Things didn't go well. I bricked hard game 1, and I still held him off at bay. He finally got pushed through and took game 1, but then I very quickly took game 2 and 3. Round 2, we were up against Bistreal Thunder Dragon, and we took that game 2-0, I believe. So gameplay wise, there's a bit of back and forth. It's always very, actually it could have been a 2-1 win. I need to double check that, but either way, we took the win. The guy piloting that deck, he's been on the channel many times. I absolutely love him. He's one of my favourite people to play against. He is just so high-spirited. You cannot not have a good time playing against him. Honestly, I'd want to play against him every week. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You're always having a good time. Just this week, the odds were in our favour, and we took the win. Round 3, we hit against most probably the deck I hate most in this current format, and that's Voiceless Voice. And the reason why I hate it is because I don't understand it, to put it simply. I haven't learnt the cards. I should learn the cards. Don't think I will learn the cards. But honestly, I absolutely hate that deck. But the person playing it as well is very knowledgeable, normally gets one of our top spots every week. So regardless of what they're playing, you know that you're going to be in for a hard game. And then when they special summon low and start ritual summoning, and you're just sat there staring at them like, please stop. I'm already dead, just stop. You lose quick, to put it simply. I did take a game. We went 2-1, and the game what I took, I literally threw everything at him. Everything. I called Ritual with the Dimensional Barrier. We could pop 2 back row with Guardian Chimera. We imperms. If my deck had it, I threw it at him. And then game 3, he just clapped me up. So, fuck all. There's nothing I could have done. But, oh well, we're 2-1 at that point. Or X1, if you want to talk Tournament Jargon. We went on a little break, which was nice, because if you're not sure, I'm not too well. So having that break was lovely. Gave me a chance to recharge a little bit. And then I went up against Dogmatica. So, and I love Dogmatica. I think it's a great archetype. And literally game one, he just kept picking up my extra deck and pulling bits out, pulling bits out, pulling bits out, until I had nothing left. I think we got my extra deck down to 1 or 2 cards, and then game 2, literally I had nothing left in my extra deck. Just ripped it all apart. And I was kind of left just looking like, cool. But he took a game, I took a game. After game 2, we kind of sat there, about to start signing. We looked at the clock, less than a minute left on time. Time we sided and shuffled, time around. So we take the draw. Again, the person playing the deck, the pilot of the deck, really skilled, really talented player. I know he's got a Twitch channel. I don't know if he does stuff on YouTube. I'll need to double check that. So if I can figure it out, I'll attach his Twitch channel to the description box as well of mine and his game. I'll reach out to him and see if we can get that sorted. But again, really skilled and fantastic player. And then round 5, Cashtira. I can't escape it. I play it pretty much every week now, and it's the same person. So last week we beat him when we was playing Shining Sarcophagus. So he took that personally and came back with a vengeance and took the game. Again, I can't remember if it was 2-1 or if it was 2-0, because like I said, this was 6 hours ago now. And I'm not too well, as I said. But I wanted to get this out. Don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I wanted to get this out because I want to be consistent. And standing here talking for 5 to 10 minutes and then doing a deck profile, even though I'm not going to be doing anything else for the rest of the evening afterwards, I didn't want to not do it. So I wanted to be consistent. As you saw at the beginning of this video, we are in association with Mpec Vendors. They do now have an Instagram. It's a brand new account. They're not very big at the moment. So if you could drop them a follow, please do. I will link that Instagram down below. And any cards they have for sale will be going up on there. We will be doing a giveaway on there, which will be done through the channel, but also through their Instagram. So I am working very closely with them. So please go check them out. To the point, I'm going to disable my own Instagram. It's no longer going to be a creator one. I'm going to reach out to you guys through the Mpec channel. So it's Mpec Vendors on Insta. I will link it below. Go check them out. Keep your eyes peeled because the guys were saying they're looking to do a Mac giveaway, possibly some OTS pack giveaways, some deck core giveaways. So there's going to be some really good giveaways through Mpecs. So follow their Instagram. And for that, I will show you the deck profile. See you next week. Okay, and here we are with the deck profile. So we've got the main, the extra and the side. So we will start off with the main deck. So as always, we have our 3 copies of Chimera Fusion, which is like one of the most important cards of the deck. Then we have the best starter and extender of the deck, the Nightmare Apprentice in triple copy. So if you don't know what this card does by now, you discard any other card to spec up, and that is an inherit summon, kind of like, think Mpec Circular. When she is then normal or special summoned, you can add any illusion from deck to hand. So if you've already got a Kotal, you grab the Dear Bells. If you don't have the Kotal, you grab the Kotal. And then speaking of Kotal, we have 3 being our second best starter. So again, if you don't know what this does, you discard it for cost to add any monster that mentions Chimera Fusion from deck to hand. 9 times out of 10, it would be your Mirror Sword. What Mirror Sword does is you contribute it for cost from field, so it does take up your normal summon, to special summon a monster that mentions Chimera Fusion, which normally would be your Big Wing Berthamet. However, if you already have a Mirror Sword in the hand, you can discard the Kotal to grab yourself a copy of Gazelle. Gazelle is when normal summoned or special summoned. Yep, you can add a level 5 Fiend or Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand. And the level 5 Fiend is, of course, your 2 copies of Big Wing Baphomet. And when this card's normal or special summoned, you can add a level 4 Beast and the Quick Play Fusion. With our one-ofs in the deck, we have our 1 Master Tau the Enchanter. This card sent to the graveyard, you can select an illusion monster in grave and special summon it in defense, but then your graveyard is locked from special summoning from, except for illusion monsters. We then have our 1 copy of Talons. What this does is, during your opponent's turn, you can bounce one of your Fiend or illusions back to your hand and spec itself. And then if your opponent targets any of your cards, you can then bounce it back to hand to blow up a card on the field. We have our 1 copy of Diabel's the Original Sin Keeper. So if a Sinful Spoil card is in either grave, you can special summon this card. Your opponent must set spells and traps before they activate them, so therefore your opponent cannot just activate Imperm from hand. They would have to set it before they can drop it. Also, they shuts down quick play spells because you cannot activate quick plays to turn you set them. But once per turn, when your opponent sets a card, you can pop a card you control and a card they control. So, really nice. Then we have our Sinful Spoils of Slumber. So what this one does is, if you control a level 5 or higher illusion monster, you can set it from your graveyard, but then banish it when it leaves the field. And when you activate it, it Book of Moons a special summon monster on your opponent's side of the field. It doesn't have to be in response to the special summon. You can just do it at any point. With the Patchwork engine, I have cut Fight for a Patchwork down to 2 for now. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if it will go back up to 3. Because the 3rd copy was good discard fodder, but at the same point was also a bit of a brick. We are still, however, on the 3 copies of Edge Imp, and the idea behind this is that you actually want this in your hand before Patchwork, because you would discard a copy of this off for Apprentice, which will then proc for Patchwork to then search another copy and poly, and then you get the 2nd copy engraved on your next turn to then add Patchwork, which will then add you your 3rd copy and your 2nd poly. And that is why we are only on 2 polymerizations. So the idea is that this is the starter, not Fright Fur, but I understand that Fright Fur is supposed to be the starter, hence the confusion. We are on 1 copy of Fallen Valbaz, and then, of course, our 3 copies of Branded Fusion. Now, this used to be a great starter for the deck, whereas now this is to turbo out Dragoon, to put it simply. And it is a case of a very much more a win more card at this rate. As good as Dragoon is, and it has won me games by itself, it's doing very little for the combo at this stage. So I don't know what's going to happen moving forward. And for the Dragoon, of course, we've got our 1 copy of Dark Magician. Then we have our hand drops, so we're on Triple Ash, Triple Veiler, and this card has grown on me so much more. As those of you who know me knows that this card used to leave a bad taste in my mouth and I could never figure out why, but recently I have gotten over that. And our 3 copies of Imperm. And that is it for the main deck, giving us a 42 card deck, which is alright. I don't mind 42. With the extra deck, we have a double copy of Chimera. You do cycle through this quite nicely. A lot of people are still only on 1 of this, and that is wrong. I'm sorry, it is wrong. You need to be on 2. And I will argue that to my dying day. 2 of this is so much better than our 1 copy of Chimera the Illusionist Beast. Normally our OTK machine. As you'll see in the cash player, I did spec this out to do some shenanigans, but I didn't understand the cash cards properly. Our 1 copy of Guardian Chimera, which, you know, Guardian Chimera. Our 1 copy of Magnum the Reliever. Our 1 copy of Rimbrand the Striking Dragon. Our 1 copy of Lubellion and Dragoon. So the idea is that you use the branded package to go into Lubellion, discard a card, to go into the Dragoon at that point. In our Super Poly targets, we have our Mud Dragon of the Swamp, and our Predaplant Draco Stapelia, and then our Garura, the Wings of Resonant Life. We have our 1 copy of Typhoon, which we are going in less and less on. But this one, I'm making so much more than I thought I would, because there's a lovely little combo which will allow you to get your... so you do your Chimera Fusion plays to get your Fusion Monster out. You have Nightmare Apprentice on the field. You overlay both of them into Beatrice. But obviously Nightmare Apprentice will essentially deal Bells. Beatrice effect, detach, sending the Chimera to grave. And then sending the Sinful Spoil Trap, which I showed you, to grave. Because the Sinful Spoil Trap is in grave, you can spec the Dear Bells. And then because you control the level 5 or higher, you can then set the trap from the grave. So that's quite nice. Bit of nice symmetry there. In the side, we are on triple Ghost Bell. We have removed Droll for now, and Ghost Bell has taken its place. And the reason why is because of Melodious. This can stop the Melodious Fusion spell, because it has to spec back from grave, and it's all one effect, so therefore Ghost Bell does shut it down, which is funny. Our triple Super Poly, I might try and look to fit this back in the main. I fully get that decks it don't help in, you can decide out, but there's not many decks it doesn't help out against. We are on 1 barrier statue. Maybe try and find space for this in the main as well. I don't know. I need to try and incorporate my combos around that a little bit more. Triple copy of Nibiru. Every time I sided this in today, I just didn't see it. We are on only double Cosmic Cyclone, and then our 3 copy of Dimensional Barrier. So all in all, the deck's doing all right. It's doing what I wanted to do. It did brick a few times earlier today, which you'll see on the other gameplay. But we keep tweaking and we'll get where we need to go. But I will catch you guys next week. Peace.